I think it's time for a fireball, my friend.
Roll the die. 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 Roll the die.
It's time for Maximum Sanchez.
Roll the die. Roll the die.
Would anyone care for some astral tea?
That's pretty good.
Roll the die. Roll the die.
Welcome to the Hall of Magnificence, where every hero is magnificent.
Roll the die. To today's Roll the Die.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Roll the Die.
Woo!
Welcome, everybody. It's a bit of a change to our usual setup. I am in the GM chair for a change, and we're going to be running a little one-shot adventure where everyone will be piloting giant robots and smashing things with giant robots. First, I'll pass you over to Mike for the announcements, and then I'll go through a little bit of what we're going to be doing today.
Well, first of all, thank you, Reece. One of the biggest really announcements is there is a new face or a new icon in our Discord. That is Esther, a great friend of ours, who is joining us as part of Roll the Die. That's a great announcement. So welcome, Esther. The chat seems to be going haywire right now.
Not really.
I'm so excited about giant robots.
When I say the chat is going haywire, the chat is going haywire. If you'd like to look at all of our symbols, they've gone a bit
Mike, I
haywire.
really needed to hype up there. That was your moment. You set up the spike and you just went.
Also.
Yeah, that's kind of got fucked on the right-hand side of the screen.
Yes. Also, just very quickly as a kind of last announcement, with two last announcements involving Ethan. Ethan is back. Welcome back, Ethan.
Hello, motherfuckers.
He is back and he's
And also, happy level up.
older than ever.
Yes, it was Ethan's birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to
I
you,
hear
Ethan.
that spicy level 22.
I was yesterday years old when I discovered Ethan's same birthday actually shared with Matthew Mercer.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, and the second coming.
The second coming. Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apart from that, that's
a bit more rough.
That's all of the announcements. We don't have an
No new
opening crawl anymore. There's no new followers apart from those who I've read out last week.
There's just Reece an introduction.
There's just Reece introducing us to this really weird ass system.
Yes.
Which is basically 5e, but sci-fi.
It is indeed. So, for those of you who have not heard of it, it's a system called Darkmatter, which is made by the good folks at Mage Hand Press. It's basically a sci-fi conversion for D&D 5e. So, it exists in a world where magic and technology are synonymous with each other, like advanced starships, like incredible weapons of mass destruction, cosmic beings, all that jazz. And today, and today we've taken a particular sect of it, the vehicle parts, and because this game has mech suits in it, I thought it'd be really fun if we did a big adventure where we all pilot mech suits and we fuck some shit up. So, I will be taking us in to the scene today. So, just to lead in, you guys are part of a mercenary group contracted to the Terran military, which is basically Earth, or the core D&D world. You are a group known as the Golem Jockeys, an elite sect of mech pilots eager to earn your way in the world, make a name for yourselves as some of the best pilots around. And you've been tasked by your CO to assist some allies of the Terran military on a particular planet. They believe that one of their supply depots is going to be attacked by a group of militants called the Union, and they basically want you guys there as some extra muscle to protect it, because it's not a very well defended area. It's literally just it's a food and supplies area, so they don't have much in the way of an army. But it's a pretty critical position for them. So we open the scene with you guys all. You're sort of you're traveling in your starship through the void, which is kind of like hyperspace in a way. The gentle thrum of some air filters filling the air. You're all sort of fast asleep in your bunks, just enjoying some peaceful sleep. When suddenly you're awoken by a loud claxton going, hey!
Oh no,
Ladies and chain jockeys, chop chop.
I just look up the book that I was reading because I was sort of partially asleep. I was just sort of reading.
You were asleep in your book.
While sleeping. Yeah. Still turning pages.
We're exiting Void Jump in about 3 hours. I want asses up, equipment checked, and combat readiness in 1. I'll see you on the flight deck. You hear the radio just sort of like squelch out. That was your CO Colonel McKinley. And
Very good accent.
yeah,
That was
you have
very
your
good.
orders.
Wow, that was.
So are we doing character introductions then?
Yeah.
So we'll start off with the bunk closest to the door. There's a sort of it's a bit of a small bunk, sort of tucked in the corner, but that's no problem for the stout and angry goblin that's tucked in there. Ethan, would you like to describe yourself?
Yes. Tonight I will be playing as Dynamite.
I'm Matthew Harvey.
A tiny, I want to say like 3 foot tall goblin, orange skin. I'm wearing kind of like engineer's overalls, and I look very scruffy. I've got a pair of like welding goggles just on my forehead, like soot and dust covering my face. As the klaxon goes off, I just kind of like roll out of bed onto the floor and slowly pick myself up and drag myself towards the front. I seem to have all of my stuff already on me.
Lovely.
Yeah.
As you sort of drag yourself past the bunk next to yours. It's a fairly well kept, sort of like nice, like neat and pleated sheets, very organized. Ben, would you like to describe your character?
Yes. So you see before you. You look at the body and you see what looks to be someone fairly humanoid, but then it's quite odd. You look at the face and they're very bird-like. You see sat on the bed, cross-legged, holding a book. The book itself, you can see, is the medical journal. Just sort of like hanging off the edge of the bed. You can see a white coat, but you see this humanoid birdman wearing like a black sort of vested top. You see him wearing some like just some normal looking like black trousers, as well as some like whitish sort of white tealy looking like white boots with teal sort of accents on them. He just sort of like he doesn't even shut his book. He's still looking at it, and you notice at the end of the bed as well. There's like a scarf. He just sort of one-handedly wraps the scarf around himself, grabs the jacket, one arm in, swaps the book over to the other arm in, and just walks while just pondering this book.
I kick his
Doesn't
shins
take
as I
his
walk
eyes off
by.
the book at all.
I'm just gonna refer to Ben's character as Bird Person.
Towards
In
still
bird
gonna-
culture,
I'm
it's
still gonna
considered a
kick
dick
that
move.
character's shins as I walk.
The type of bird head he has is like it's an eagle. An eagle's head. Like an
Okay,
eagle
no.
falcon mix.
So, but
Making a note about Ben's character,
The Falcon.
Freedom Bird.
Freedom Bird.
towards the back of the
Freedom
room.
Bird 3000.
Yeah,
there we go.
You
The
see
bird of
him. You
independence.
see him with
A strong, independent bird. You don't need a mech.
Don't
you
need
just
no
see him walk
roost.
off with the book and just sort of like he cocks a smile to himself just as he's just thinking.
Towards the back of the room, squinting at the light panel above their bed that keeps flickering, and the engineers all seem to refuse to change that one bulb. This dwarf just rubs his eyes and rolls out of bed. Mike, would you like to describe your character?
So yes, I am Professor Satatak Dukos, a lovely dwarven fighter. You know,
I never gave my character name.
that is also true. Ben, very quickly, what's your character name?
My name is Dr. Helio Amontet.
We've got a doctor and a professor. I'm a
Professor
professor
Doctor.
of engineering. Do many mechanical things. Currently using my rucksack as a pillow, because comfort I don't really give a shit about.
Is that a mechanical thing?
It's a mechanical thing, yeah. You know, I've got all of my shit is in this rucksack, which I'm sleeping on. You know, toolboxes, you know, you name it. But he rolls out, and he's not ready for today. Like he's had a rough sleep. Yeah, he's grabbed his rucksack. He's just walking very slowly. He's not ready.
In contrast to the rest of you, like the bunk towards like the back left corner of the room, like there's all sorts of various different like colourful posters and some like sweet treats on the end table, like and just jumping out of bed like super excited. Esther, would you like to describe your character?
Oh yes, I'm an orc witch named Brog. I have green skin and bright pink hair all over my body and my face. Yeah, I use mage hands to throw my alarm clock against the wall. And then
it sails across the bunk room onto a spot that seems to have a dent in it and a small pile of other alarm clocks underneath it.
Hey, it's a ticking time bomb.
Pardon? Ticking time bomb.
What's a non-ticking time bomb because they probably don't work.
They are all broken. None of them work.
Last but certainly not least, kicking the discarded alarm clock out of the way as they slog towards the main door. Charlie, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah, this character is a drow, quite clearly a rogue, as many a drow are.
Yep.
She's very thin, long hair. Basically, imagine a typical female drow. This is pretty much what she looks like, and she's very much in favor of that, being a stealthy type. So she rather suddenly kicks several of these bloody alarm clocks out of the way and just shoots a glare over at the damn orc. He won't stop throwing things. You can see that her bedrolls, you think they may have actually been like custom made because they seem like very silken. And she's definitely gotten some.
It's not
all that or next.
Ships
It's like this isn't standard fare for the military to give this kind of quality of shit. She got this stuff somehow. It may not have been legal.
She also made a
It's probably from her own requisitions.
Yeah. Requisitions, quote unquote.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
AKA theft.
But yeah, somehow she manages to kick these things out of the way, but in such a way she manages to make them skid silently across the floor until they hit the wall at the other end and smash.
That's why.
She seems very good at moving inconspicuously and very quietly. Just like very, very rapidly gets armed and armored as she leaves the room.
So you guys,
breaking stride.
You all get equipped up. You strap on your various pieces of equipment, weapons, everything you think you might need to take down to the planet with you. A couple of you chug some MREs.
I look at everyone and just sort of like, while we're eating our MREs, they say that breakfast, most important meal of the day. Well, not if it's poisoned. Then the antidote becomes the most important. And then I just go back to reading my book and eating and walking off.
Can I take a handful of my food and throw it at the Birdman?
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
You guys have been a unit for a very long time.
And
so
I have still refused to learn anybody's name.
Can I attempt to catch the food?
You just you're so used to him doing this every time you crack a joke. You just tilt your head slightly to the left, and it just flies past.
I do have a Dex of 17, so yeah. Fair.
Once you've all eaten, you sort of make your way down to the hangar bay the hangar bay where your vehicles are kept. This massive open room. Each one of your robots in sort of like these careful little deployment stations with sort of like there's a catwalk above the room with like a series of control panels and things on it, and a set of stairs in the middle of the room that lead up towards the catwalk and the control center. As you're all sort of doing your various like final bits of prep, You hear an announcement come over the loudspeakers.
My book and take out a data pad instead.
Attention, members of the Hermes. We are exiting Void Jump in 3, 2, 1. Sun above! And you suddenly feel the entire ship rattle. Like the lights briefly go out for a few seconds, red warning lights flare on, and you don't hear anything over comms for a few seconds.
Is it
And
like
then your
going on the
CO
tube, just with added ambience?
You can.
Because like, you know when you're on the tube and the lights just go out every so often?
Yeah.
It's like, it feels like that.
Well, the lights have come back on, but these red warning lights are sort of like flaring. It's a red alert, basically.
Red alert. Oh god.
And
like, roll my eyes and.
your CEO comes
we go
comes
again.
back over the
Must be
loudspeakers again.
Tuesdays. I can never get used to Tuesdays.
Feels like a Monday.
It seems we've got an unfortunate surprise waiting for us, jockeys. We've got 2 Union flagships orbiting the planet's surface. That means I won't be able to take you down there directly, so you'll have to launch. Helmsman, what are those approaching? Boarding parties. All right. We've got 2 on the hull. Jockeys, prepare. And at this point, the comms go out. And there's another rock of the ship. The hangar bay door is about 60 feet away from you all. It's sealed, and it suddenly starts like a line of sparks goes down the middle of the door. You've got 10 seconds. What do you want to do?
I literally sigh and like, why didn't I just go work in a hospital?
I'm going to.
That wouldn't be as fun.
I just like jumped into my mech.
Do we have a Mechs nearby?
Actually, hang on.
I believe we do not.
One sec.
Are we in the mech bay?
We are in the
You are in the mech.
I can do something better than jump into my mech.
Oh.
How long does it take
So-
to start up a mech?
A while. A little
Exactly. I was thinking.
while.
Are we talking minutes?
Hang on.
I will say, creatures, ordinary creatures can't be targeted by vehicle weapons directly because they're
True.
too small for them to
That's why I was
focus on.
just working out if I wanted to actually jump in there or if I'd want to use.
So you might blow a hole in the side of the ship you're in.
So Arania is going to pull out her antimatter carbine and very swiftly run into cover wherever she can find it.
You find there's some crates actually stacked up next to your spider mech. Various different munitions crates. You duck behind those and sort of aim at the door.
Cool.
Michael, what do you want to do?
Worked out what I want to do.
I am
Oh,
going
cool.
to kick up the old flight suit because
Okay.
I can do that, and I'm gonna. So when you say 60 foot away from us, is it like 60 foot from the catwalk, or is it like a lower level?
You guys are sort of the catwalk is split down the middle of the room. You guys, so
Like,
for reference,
If I was to go down, would I be on the hangar door?
if you were to go down, so the hangar door is in front of you,
Okay.
so it's not up or down.
Gotcha. So
It's
not.
directly
When,
across
when,
you.
when I'm thinking hangar door, I'm thinking of something like fucking the back of a plane, but we're in a ship.
No.
so
So
it's
this is
different.
like one of the main entrances.
Gotcha.
You came in through a side entrance from the galley,
Don't need to
but this is the
access
main
flight suit
entrance,
then.
which will lead
If
to
it's if it's on the
which are the main
catwalk,
deck.
I will pull out my antimatter carbine and move forward, but into cover towards the door.
Okay, so you're yes.
Ruling. Guidance. Does that work on attack rolls?
I
I don't think it does because it just says
don't
ability
think it
check.
does.
I don't
Guidance
know.
when it's on ability check, right?
Yeah.
And saves. On that topic, Dr. Healer, what would you like to do?
Range on my.
For reference, you to the people that have moved up behind cover, you're probably now about 30 feet away from the door. I'll say you're able to move your movement towards cover, and you have half cover.
That's fine.
say if I had a medical drone or not?
I did say you could have. I did say you'd have a medical drone. It just won't do anything while you're in your mech.
Yeah.
But yes, you do have a little medical drone. It'll
Okay.
be a bonus action to get it to do anything.
Cool. It just follows me. It does. I am going to. I'm going to. You. Do anything with that? No. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. So what's nearby?
So near to you are just a couple of other random crates spread out, and you're right next to your Mechs deployment pod, which is probably about in the middle of the room, just under the catwalk. You're about midway in the room. You can move up 30 feet towards the next to the crates, next to Set and Rania. Sorry.
Yeah. Can I do that? I take out my Actually, yeah. I don't want to go as far. I want to keep them like within closest proximity to me, but I want to stay a bit further back. No more than. You said that the door's about 60 foot away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Is there cover by my mech? Like,
You
right,
can take.
could I just
You,
literally just hunker down to the side?
yeah, you can, and I'll say that's.
Cool. So I hunker down to the side, resting on this crate. Like you see me take a. It kind of looks like a quarterstaff with a gem on the top, with a yellowish reddish gem, that looks to like shimmer like the sun. As I take it out, rest it on the crate. As I hold an action to fire at whatever comes, whatever breaks through.
Fantastic. Okay, so all three of you are holding attack actions for the first thing you see. Ethan, what would Dynamite like to do?
Dynamite would like to go and procure his weapons from his weapon rack.
Oh, you already had those. Those were the first things you
Oh.
grabbed when you got out of bed.
Then never mind.
The weapon
They're
rack
under your
wasn't
they're under
the
your
best.
bed. They never go on the weapon rack.
Do I have any additional weaponry stashed in this area?
Probably.
Knowing you and your propensity for explosives, you do have a frag grenade
I will.
that you always keep in your mech just in case of emergencies.
The emergency
I
frag.
will. I will grab
Emergency
it.
self-destruct.
Oh no, there's a different button for that. Yeah, no one can really pilot my mech because it's just a mess of buttons and levers. Yeah, I will grab my emergency frag,
Okay, the
and
frag
I
has,
will then ready my weapon.
okay, the frag has the explosive property, so any creatures within 5 feet of it make a DC 12 Dex saving throw or take half damage. It's got a short range of 20 feet and a long range of 40 feet. Sorry.
Okay, just to clarify, me readying my weapon is not pulling the pin on a grenade. It is me
No.
getting my great sword ready.
Okay.
I like how you
Just for
specify
reference,
that.
as well. The grenade, it's just like making a ranged attack with like a throwing knife or something. So your Dex plus proficiency. Okay, now Brog, what would you like to do? Everyone's sort of like getting ready, getting into position. A couple of people taking cover. Like Dynamite has got that great sword he always uses, and he's standing ready at the door. What would you like to do?
Question.
Yes.
Some of my spells require me to touch an object. Can I do it when I'm in my mech?
Not when you're in your mech, no.
So I wouldn't. My movement speed is 30 feet, so I can't go all the way up to the door.
No, there are
Okay.
plenty of like crates and things around that you can touch. There are plenty of other objects around the room.
Ooh.
If you describe to me the spell or whichever ability you'd like to use, I'll let you know if it's possible.
Well, I was thinking of using Protect Thresholds, but that would require me to touch the door that they're trying to open. So I can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
Pardon?
is it an action or a bonus action to use that?
it's an action.
Okay. Alright.
Everyone hydrate, please.
Oh,
Thank you, Emma.
Cheers,
Thank you for making sure we don't die of dehydration.
If you can't pull off any,
Especially
if you're
the
not
one
sure of
that
any other spells, you could always use a general attack spell, or you could hold an attack with your blaster. You've got plenty of options.
well, I guess I could. Let me think. I'll use Candy Blast.
Candy
To-
blast.
Candy Crush?
Hang on.
Yeah, Candy Blast. I just spew out loads of candy, boiled sweets, mints, jelly
basically-
beans, chocolate.
It's Candy Crush.
So is this
all
okay,
over.
Did you use
I
it?
love this spell.
Did you learn your powers from Willy Wonka?
is this a
She
spell?
That's nice if
literally
you did.
just throws boiled sweets on the floor, and it deals like. Yeah, actually, you have to throw it at a target, don't you?
Yeah, is it an attack or an
Well,
like? How does it work?
Technically,
It's-
it leaves
it's an
a
attack,
difficult terrain
but
area.
Also,
afterwards.
yes, makes it difficult terrain.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a 5 foot by 5 foot area.
Yeah.
Right, so
Ah.
I'll say you're holding that until someone comes in the door.
All right.
You're gonna
Yeah,
come in and
we'll
get
go
like
with that.
a face full of laser and
Range
sweets.
on it.
Laser and sweets.
I think the range is only like 30 feet.
So you'd have to move up 30 feet to be in range to do it, Esther.
I'll
Let me
do
check
that.
Okay. Do you want to move up? There's no room on the crates next to. Actually no, because you didn't hide there. Yeah, there's room at the crates next to Charlie, Mike, and Ben. So you've got half cover.
Yeah, we moved.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, candy bar.
That's what I'll do.
Candy blast.
Candy blast. Right. Can I get everyone to roll initiative, please?
Yes, you can.
You'll get
Ooh.
you will get your surprise round, but this will determine which order you all attack in, and if any survive, then which of you will be left fighting.
First roll of the night.
Was it nat 20?
Nat 20.
Nice.
Okay.
That makes a 23 from me, Reece.
So 23 from you.
I
Okay.
also have 23.
Being a natural 20.
You also got 23.
Yes, 19 plus 4.
Okay. That's 4.
Obviously, as we have the same initiative, as we have the same initiative number, I'd vouch that Ben goes first because he rolled the nat 20.
Yeah, I would also roll that as well. That could have been better.
Who here has extra attack, by the way? It's nearly all of us, isn't it?
No.
Do you not have extra attack?
Clerics don't get extra attacks.
Nope, not unless they're war clerics, I think.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
we'll
get
go
bonus
extra
attacks as a
Esther won't have extra attacks either because she's a witch.
Same, rogue.
I do.
I have
Yeah.
extra attack, so it's just me and Ethan.
Only fighters, barbarians. Fighters, barbarians, and paladins are the most likely ones to get extra attacks.
Esther, what did you roll for initiative?
9.
You got a 9. Okay. Okay. Ethan, what did you get?
2.
You got 2.
I rolled nat 1 and I got a +1.
Oh dear.
G other than the spectrum.
Charlie, what did you get?
I got 8.
8. Okay.
Oh, it seems
Right,
that me
top
and
of the
me and Ben are
round.
gonna be carrying the party.
Right. First is your surprise round. So, as the trail of sparks reaches the bottom of the door, you hear those of you that are slightly closer hear like a click as something's applied to the door, and then boom, it blasts open in a cloud of smoke. You see emerge from the smoke. You see a man. You see a man in sort of like this sort of built-up combat armor with sort of like a leather jacket and a bandolier across his belt with a bunch of like shells strapped into it. You see two grunts in sort of generic sort of like white combat armor with combat helmets and like a heads-up display visor, flanking him with rifles. So first up, Ben, you make the first attack because you are the first.
With my Avia Ray Sun Staff.
I would laugh
Uh,
if he
who
said
are you
emerged from the smoke
attacking?
was Darth Vader. Because, you know, episode 4.
13.
13. Who are you attacking, sorry?
The main guy.
The guy in the bandolier. 13 misses.
Ooh, shit.
The shadow of, I can imagine, like, I just slightly missed, just the smoke was slightly off-putting.
He just sort of like watches this bolt go past. He's shocked at how quick you guys
Candy
were.
Blast is 60 feet.
Candy Blast 60 feet.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
leave it. Would you like to have moved? Would you rather be further back, Esther, if you could?
Oh, actually, yes, please.
Okay, I'll say you're further back in the room, so you're about 60 feet away.
Cool. Thank you.
You're still in range.
You literally just hear the sound of like of Helio just going like, "Fuck."
Next up is Professor Sotatet. Sotatek. I can't read my own handwriting.
Anyway.
I'll call you Set.
I'll call him Prof.
The Professor.
Oh, Dukos.
Dukos. Most people call me Dukos. Well, I'm gonna. Obviously, I got my readied up with
You're
the
making an
carbine.
attack. Who are you attacking?
The main guy.
You're also attacking the shock trooper. Okay,
Yes.
go for it.
That's a 28 to hit.
Oh, that hits. Please roll your damage.
I rolled a 19. I add 9 to my attack roll. 2d6.
Plus 9 at level 5.
Yeah, because because of some of the class features and shit that I've taken. It's I get a plus 5 to my I get my plus 5 something. Oh, fuck knows. I know proficiency comes into play at some point.
Yeah, proficiency should only be plus 3.
Yeah, but I have other shit that does. I get a plus 2 from my fighting style, and there's other things that give me more.
Nice.
Right, 2d6. That's 11 necrotic damage.
Okay. So you fire a quick 3-round burst, like tight, punches him directly in the chest. You see a blue shimmer around him, sort of like like an energy field shimmers briefly before shattering as the rest of the bolt goes through. His shield is gone. Next up is
Still myself because I have extra attack.
Oh no! Well, you only get to make one because it's a surprise attack.
Oh bollocks! Yeah.
Isn't it still an attack action? He was holding an attack action.
Yeah, I can just attack twice. It's whenever I take an attack action on my turn.
And
you know what?
GM ruling.
For the sake of fun, yeah, you get an extra attack. He's not expecting you.
Ah, but it was I, Dio.
So the plan for this is
second roll.
When he nat ones and breaks his gun.
If I break my gun, that's gonna be a laugh. 11. That misses.
That definitely misses.
Supercharge the gun.
The second shot, the recoil was just a bit too much, and you go wide. You actually nearly hit one of the grunts in the head, but he ducks.
If only.
Next up is Esther. So you're doing your candy blast. Who would you like to do your candy blast at?
Oh, so who have I got?
So there's the main, who looks like there's the shock trooper who's up in front. with like this sort of like scattergun looking thing, and he's just been hit by Mike's character. Well, there's two soldier types on either side of him, sort of flanking him as he comes in.
I'll go for the main guy.
Okay. So it's a spell attack. So roll a d20 and then add your spell attack modifier.
Okay, 1 moment.
Boom.
What is the spellcasting ability modifier for a witch?
This is just a cantrip.
Is it?
So it's
Oh,
T.
oh
it's
yeah, it
2d8.
is.
So it'll be, if you do hit, it'll be 2d8 damage.
So, I got 13. Now, my modifier, I think, is charisma.
So it's your charisma bonus plus your proficiency bonus, I believe.
Very good at this.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, spell attack is spellcasting ability plus proficiency.
So whatever your charisma modifier is, just add your proficiency to it, and then add it to your roll.
So charisma modifier plus 3.
My charisma modifier is plus
okay.
3.
Oh,
I can.
mm,
I mean, I can tell you've already hit him, even with that.
Even without the numbers, you've hit him.
Well, it's a
So that would
13.
be-
She got 13. She's already got plus 3, and if her proficiency is plus 3, so it's plus 6. So you hit him.
oh yeah. Thank you.
So go ahead and roll your 2d8 damage, and correct.
Okay.
So the floor around him is now difficult terrain. Yeah.
Yes, he can use an action to gather up the fallen candy.
Okay.
It's edible, but it has no nutritional value.
It just tastes good.
I've got the
got-
witch PDF up here just to be safe.
That's fair enough.
Thank you. That's a lot of help. I got 13.
13.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay, that's some nice
for
damage.
candy.
on 2d8s.
Yeah.
They must be really stale.
So you, Esther claps her hands, and this blast of various different boiled sweets. You see a couple of gummies like
Loves it.
splash on his face and sort of like leave little burn marks. Some shards of candy cane sticking out of his vest.
Ooh.
He looks both surprised and hurt.
There's candy coming out of my nose and mouth as well.
Oh God, that sounds horrifying.
Yeah,
That's quite
you
painful.
Okay,
You literally summon a handful of hard candy. The spell.
okay, I'm gonna roll a wisdom saving throw for him because of this visual. He's never seen anything like this. He's a little.
He's a little perplexed at what the fuck just happened.
He is now frightened of Esther. He
That
has.
means he has to use his action to move as far away from her as possible.
He does.
And
He
the
has
only
to move his full
hang on.
movement away.
Doesn't he have to go out into space?
Yes.
No, they.
Pretty sure he can't go out into. He's not going to kill himself to get away.
They broke into the main.
Right?
Oh,
Their boarding craft crashed into the main hall, and they came in through the door. So he's probably just going to go back into the boarding craft and try and take off.
nah, we're not going to let him do that.
Next up is Ethan. Is Dynamite's go.
Mm-hmm.
How close was Dynamite to the door?
I want to say like 30 feet back from it.
Okay, so you've got. You said you're holding an action. Were you holding an action with the
I
great
was
sword?
holding an action to swing at the first thing that came into my view.
So you're still 30 feet away from the door, though.
She.
I'll say if you
Has
want.
anything advanced into the room?
No, they've literally just come in through the door.
Knock, knock.
I'll say you can switch to your grenade or or if you've got a ranged weapon, you can use that. You can quickly switch to it.
I'm not aware that I have a blaster, so if I do have a blaster, I would use that.
You could use your action to dash.
True,
it's
but I'm
not
just being
a
the
full
thick of it
turn,
with
though.
everybody.
It's not a full turn, so he's just holding attack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you said you were holding an attack, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say you can switch to the grenade, or I can send you the stats for a basic repeater blaster, like a pistol.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
I will send you the stats in Messenger.
It does 2d6 radiant damage, range of 60, 22, 40, and it's considered a blaster.
Ben's already got it up.
He does
I
indeed.
have it up for the Sunstar. I have it up just for extra bits anyway.
That's fair enough.
I'm still going to send it, but I'm
Oh, excuse me.
terrible.
Oh, that was quite painful.
Okay. I'm going to post it in the Roll the Die Messenger chat so that you can see it.
Tell them our secrets, Reece.
Well, it's not a secret. They know we have chats. We've referenced it
No,
multiple
they don't. Don't break the
We've
illusion.
just used Discord.
We only Discord.
Illusion.
Yes. So as Ben said, it has a it's 2d4 or sorry 2d6.
D6.
And it has a range of
60 to 40.
60 feet and 240 feet. So you are within range to use it, and you're a barbarian, so you do have proficiency in it as well.
Okay, repeat a time. Clack, 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 clack.
Yes. Go ahead
So,
and roll your attack. You are a barbarian, so you get 2 attacks.
well, I'll do the first one, and that is a plus my proficiency bonus, which I believe is a.
Blasters in this actually don't have ammunition, do they?
They do not.
Ooh.
At level 5, your proficiency is 2, correct?
Plus
Or is
3.
it 3?
3.
Okay, cool. That was a 21 to hit.
Ooh.
Okay. Yes, you definitely hit.
Okay. And then 2d6 on the first. Boom.
How much damage?
7.
Okay, 7 damage on the first one.
And then I like how as well this is probably like a heavy bolter for me.
Probably, I'd
As
say.
opposed to a pistol. Oh, same roll again, another 21.
Nice.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage.
11 damage.
11. This guy is really bloodied.
Nice.
He has candy sticking out of him. He has several like blaster burns all over his coat. I'll be honest, he's shit scared.
I'm Esther, because of some candy.
Because of some candy, exactly. Yeah, next up is Charlie. Charlie, is your surprise attack.
Excellent. Well, I didn't think I'd actually get the chance to use this. Actually, no. To be fair, I will get the chance to use this, but I have advantage on attacks versus targets set yet to add because I'm an assassin.
You do.
I also have elven accuracy, which means I basically have double advantage on this attack.
Nice. Why is Charlie become bits again?
I am always bits.
He's a power gamer.
That is true.
I'm not. I'm just good at making characters.
Yeah.
Considering my character
Nice.
was made 24 hours ago, is yeah.
I made this character literally just briefly, like on that one chat.
I made this.
It wasn't even most of it.
Back when Darkmatter released.
Nice.
That's a 23 to hit in total.
Oh, you've definitely hit him. Please roll
Nice.
your damage. Let me know how badly you screwed this guy
Isn't
up.
that with an antimatter carbine? So it's exactly the same
Yeah.
as me. Oh.
Yep,
That's 14 damage necrotic.
14.
Oh.
This guy, at this point, he's turning to run to get away from Esther. He's taken so much damage. As these bolts strike through, they pierce through his abdomen, and he clutches his side, falls down to one knee. He's bad. He's in a bad way. Do you have extra attack?
I do not. I'm a
Oh,
really
you
rogue.
could have done the finishing blow.
All right, now we come to the top of the round. It is Ben's go.
I see sort of him down on the ground, and I just I clutch my ankh necklace around my neck, and you hear me chanting something in Aviara. You can't tell what I'm saying. My eyes just sort of like glow red, like red, white, yellow, like hot like the sun. As I point down at him, and you subtly hear bells in the air for the moment. Can I get him to roll me a wisdom save?
You can, yes.
Oh.
You got a 5.
Oh no.
This
Okay,
guy's
so
off-
he's taking
just tossed him into it.
2d12 necrotic damage.
Holy
I
shit.
can tell
And
you,
I cast Toll the Dead.
I thought that
I
was
can
Toll
tell
the
you
Dead.
right now, he's dead. It doesn't. How dare you.
Very accurate then.
Did you roll maximum damage? He rolled max damage.
Please describe how your Toll the Dead absolutely decimates this guy.
His ears just stop bleeding
Oh god.
as sort of like and suddenly it looks like he starts shriveling up as he feels like an intense burning on the inside as the sun above, the glorious sun above,
Praise be the sun.
sizzles his entire. So like the way I'm describing this necrotic damage is like it doesn't just like just decimate his internal organs and everything. It boils him alive from the inside. Like he was being burnt by solar fire.
He's been withered.
As you do this, he falls to the ground, vomits blood, starts screaming,
That blood suddenly sets on fire.
and collapses in a puddle.
What's wrong with this ship?
The other soldiers
Bloods and boiled sweets.
The other soldiers look down at their commander, who just
they just see me just like standing there like this, giving a grimace.
Ben used the force.
Look, as
Oh, don't tell me you've got something else up your sleeve.
I say, give a man a match, and he'll be warm for a few hours. Set a man on fire, and he will be warm for the rest of his life. I say this loudly so the other guys can, so the other people can hear. Can I use a bonus action to try and terrify them with that joke?
I can tell you they are all except one, which seems very cocky. The rest of the two that were flanking him are kind of shaking a little bit. They have disadvantage on all attacks against you guys now because their commanding officer just got decimated in front of them.
I just look at everyone. I'm like, blessings of the sun be on us all.
Is that the end of your turn?
As my eyes.
That grenade.
Was me saying that a bonus action?
No.
Okay. I still have my bonus action.
And I pull the pin in my grenade.
Rick, where did you get a grenade? I don't know.
I made it.
You made it.
Sweet release of death. The sweet release of this pin from this grenade.
When
you
can
guys
talk
are
about
an
making
elite
a
mercenary.
grenade, it reminds me of when you have to make the pizza in Borderlands 3.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yes.
good. I'm good. That's my turn.
Okay. Next
Yeah.
up is Professor Darkos. What would you
Yes.
like to do?
Shoot a fucker.
You would like to shoot a fucker. Which one would you like to shoot?
We'll go
Which
for the one on
fucker
the left.
Okay. So you are aiming at Grunt B.
Grunt B.
If you want to know, his name is Hutchins. He's 34, and he's still waiting for that girl to ask him to the dance.
And
Does he like long walks? Does he like long walks on the beach?
He does. He used to like
So this-
camping and campfires until now.
Have you given all the NPCs Tinder profiles?
Yes.
I don't got a Tinder
That's not
bio.
even a question.
And
Yes.
unfortunately, he probably will die now. 23 to hit.
23 does hit.
Why won't anyone date me? I'm a nice guy.
2d6 plus 4.
Cause you're a nerd.
10.
Well,
piercing
you're a
damage.
nerd.
How much?
10.
10.
And then I'm
Okay.
gonna roll to hit him again.
You fire the burst straight into Hutchins. And he's sort of like it's so powerful it sort of knocks him down on his ass. He's like literally sitting on his ass right now. Roll again.
Damn, I was only 2 days away from retirement.
Another 23 to hit.
Okay, roll damage.
It's like, now's the perfect time to check if I check this scratch card. I probably didn't win it. Oh no.
Breakfast at Tiffany's time. 10 damage.
Another 10. That second shot catches him in the chest and he just sort of doubles backwards. He's now crawling on the floor. He's also trying to crawl away. He's like, oh, fuck this, man. Fuck this.
I'm not paid enough for this shit.
This was supposed to be easy pickings.
Can I
Game over, man. Game over.
Can I say something as I fire my next shot?
You have it's a free action to talk, you can say.
You broke onto the wrong ship today, laddie.
Alright, fantastic. Also, coincidentally, Dakos and the commander are related somehow, because they're both Scottish.
Well, that's...
Are you saying all Scottish people are related?
No, but these...
I mean, they technically are. Otherwise, he wouldn't be
related
Scottish.
in one form or another.
Yeah.
You can tell that my screen's too bright by the fact it's reflecting on my door.
Alright, do you have a bonus action or anything else you'd like to do, Professor? Or is that your turn?
Bonus actions, that's a good question, because, yeah. I can tell you, I do not have bonus actions.
Is that the end of your turn then?
Do you not have actions?
Unless I want to action search and finish
Well,
the
yeah.
job.
Because that's like the only one of the few fighter bonuses.
I will say, I would allow action surge to function in your mech, so you can save it for later.
Ooh.
That's worth holding on to.
That is worth holding on to it, especially if I'm in the mech. I will hold on to that and then my turn.
Okay. Alright, if that's the end of your turn, next up is Grunt A, who, out of the smoke, another one steps forward, cocks the hammer back on his rifle, and just stands there stoically and says, "Today is a good day to die." And he takes a shot. He takes a shot at Professor Dakos. You have half cover, so remind me, what are the rules of half cover?
Plus something to AC. I think it's plus 2
Plus
to AC.
1.
Plus 1. Quarter covers plus 1, I
It
thought.
is a plus 2 to AC. So what's your AC now?
It's plus 2 to AC, did you say?
Yes.
I must roll higher than an 18.
Okay.
That's true AC.
Let me just double check. His plus to hit. Oh, he is just short.
Is he 17?
17.
Yeah. If I was not in cover, that would have hit.
Actually, I'm going to say he's going to use his bonus action to aim, which would add plus 2 to his attack roll. Because I forgot to do this and I need to read their abilities. Bit of bookkeeping on my end, but so he's just about going to hit.
He's going to hit.
They would have done.
That's fine. Okay.
That's a roll. I can roll that.
Just a little scratch. It's all right. It's all right.
It's but a scratch.
That is 12 damage.
12 damage. Fucking hell.
Bruh.
I just shout out, "'Tis but a flesh wound."
'Tis but a flesh wound.
Alright, next up is Grunt B, who is going to use his action to crawl his bleeding ass towards the door about 15 feet. That is the end of his turn. So
Good
he's
job.
on the other side of the door now. Just as Grunt, another note, as Grunt A steps forward, the smoke is starting to clear, and you can see something sort of like hulking standing behind them. Just a silhouette. Next up is Grunt C, who is going to take an attack against you again, but he has disadvantage.
It's going against me.
Yes, This is the one that was standing next to the commander, who is shit scared.
Okay, so this guy's already cacked his pants and is trying to.
This
take
is
a shot
Private
at me.
Dayton. He's been out of basic for about 2 days.
Wait, he's just got out of basic training. Oh shit.
He's been out of basic for 2 days.
Wow.
And he's witnessed his commander be burnt
Alive.
inside out.
And
You
had
horrible
candy thrown
monsters.
at him.
Oh, you are so lucky.
What
You
do
are
you
so lucky it was at disadvantage. He rolled a natural 20.
Oh, thank
Oh.
Christ for that.
Never
He
said
only
every
rolled a
other
14
second roll.
total though, so he misses. His shot, he's quivering, he goes wide. Next up is you just see out of the shadows the smoke finally clears, revealing this hulking mechanical monster. It is a multitask automaton. So it's this robot that stands about like 8 foot tall, like massive iron and steel limbs, glowing red eyes, and it sets its sights directly on Dynamite, who is the closest one to them. Actually, no, Dynamite, were you still 60 feet? You were 30 feet away, weren't you?
30 feet.
But you were still out in the open, though, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, you are, as far as it can tell, the most logical target to attack. So it is going to attack you.
The unlucky target.
It can reach you. It's going to make 3 attacks with a Morning Star. As it reaches onto its back and pulls off this massive club with spikes on the end and goes to take a couple of swings at you. First one is a 19 to hit.
That is a hit.
Okay, so I'll roll damage for that. That is 10 damage.
Okay.
The second attack. That is a 21 to hit.
It's also a hit.
7 damage.
Okay.
Cocked. And that is a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that also hits. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
That is 10 damage.
Cool, so that's 27 damage off the bat without me being able to rage.
And it just smack, and it just and then it returns to sort of its default standing position and is looking at you. It's then going to use its bonus action.
Oh, fuck.
It sort of gets down in sort of like this pose and brings up a little, the plates on its arms sort of like fold outwards, and it is going to use brace.
It's getting a shield already.
Is it basically
What's it
Gibraltar from Apex?
What's it doing?
It's making
It
a
is
shield.
bracing. So the next attack that hits this target, the automaton may remove 2d10 damage from the next attack.
Is that just an ability?
That is a bonus action. It's just an ability, yes.
Is that from any direction? So even if you shoot it from behind?
No, I'd say if you're attacking from behind, the
What?
brace won't affect it.
Cool.
Next up is the shock trooper. His puddle is going to bubble a little bit, and a bit of steam's going to come out. It smells. Next up is Esther.
Oh,
You have this automaton, this robot that's standing in front of your dear friend Dynamite. You have a very cocky soldier at the other end of the corridor, and one that is crawling away, and the other one that looks very frightened.
there's something I forgot to mention in the introduction. I have a familiar frog named Frog.
You do have your familiar frog is usually hides in your coat. Now he's sort of like up on your shoulder, just sort of like observing the scene.
I haven't thought about a movement speed for him. I like to imagine he can jump really far.
I think familiars have a standard movement, but you can always flavor it as like him jumping and hopping around.
The great big automaton doesn't have sensors like eyes on its face.
It does have eyes, yes.
Frog is going to jump right on its face and cover up its eyes.
Okay. Okay. Make a So I'm going to bring up the stats for a familiar. 1 second.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just imagining a frog jumping onto Iron Man now.
Nice.
That would have been a weird turn of events.
so
and then
I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you to make a strength, like roll a d20, and
Okay.
tell me what you get, and we'll roll one for the automaton as well. And we're going to do a contested strength check to see if you can hang on, and if your frog can hang on and cover its eyes.
My camera's just like defocused.
17.
Okay. Wow. The automaton rolled very bad. I should say.
This is frog firmly on its
So
face.
the automaton got a 7 in total. You got how much did you say you got? You got a 17.
17, yeah.
Okay, so that's, a frog has -5 strength, so that's 12, which is still higher than the automaton. So it shakes its head as it tries to knock the frog off, but your little frog just grips tight and suctions its hands onto its eyes. The automaton's eyes are now covered.
It's blinded.
I didn't say that.
Oh wait,
I also want
see
to.
through it.
I'll say that's your bonus action to command your familiar. So, what would
Okay.
you like to do?
I'm gonna use prehensile hair. So there's hair growing really far out of my beard and my chest, and that's
Nice.
going to try and trip over the automaton.
Okay. What do I have to do for that?
That is awesome.
Let's see. It
That is awesome.
What is going on?
The most random and amazing character ever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I
We've
have
had
no idea.
Candy fucking nearly kill a guy. We've got a frog that's covering the eyes of an automaton. And
Witches are amazing.
And now there's fucking hair with Rapunzel in the fucking room.
Yeah.
Witches are amazing.
This is just weird.
I'm looking at the description. I'm actually I can't see where it says any checks or anything. I guess it's not really meant to be a combat spell, but I don't know.
Does it say any saves?
No.
Oh, then
You can use your hair to perform simple tasks within 10 feet.
Do you think?
Such as manipulating an object, opening an unlocked door or container, stowing or retrieving an item from the container, pouring the contents out of a vial. You can cast spells with a ranged touch using your hair out to a range of 10 feet.
Oh.
And your hair returns to its normal length when it ends.
Okay.
What do you think? Can I do it?
The automaton weighs like hundreds of pounds, so
Yeah.
your hair probably wouldn't be strong enough to trip it over.
I'll have to save that idea for another day.
Yeah.
Hair is strong, but not that strong.
Strong enough to.
It would need to be wound up in like a rope, and then it would probably be able to do it.
That's a shame.
To see it happen.
Yeah.
You can still make some spell attacks, or if you've got any other spells you'd like to try, or you can just shoot it.
Actions, you could do like a cantrip at a bonus action, couldn't you?
Well, can I cast hideous laughter on the automaton? Can automatons laugh?
That instead of your hair thing, or
Yeah.
The automaton, it doesn't say.
Does it have an intelligence?
It does have intelligence. It's low, but it does have intelligence.
It is sentient.
It doesn't say it's immune to that sort of effect, so I'd say yes. You could mess with its programming enough that it makes it think it's laughing.
make it ruffle.
Become data.
What do I have to roll for the robot?
Let's
Is
see.
he fully functional and anatomically correct?
Save, isn't it?
I think it's a wisdom save.
Wisdom or charisma.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look this up. Sorry.
So I got it.
You've got it.
Yeah, I've literally got it.
Thanks on it. I'm pretty sure it's a wisdom save. I just want to check.
Yeah.
If it wants to load properly. Yeah, wisdom saving throw.
Okay. The value should be 8 plus your proficiency plus your charisma. I believe that's how the DCs work, isn't it? Ben, if you check that, I'll roll for the robot.
Yes, it is because mine's 16 and my attack bonus is +8. So yeah,
So I have to beat it
it's
at
8 plus
14.
that.
Okay, so your spell save, just as a note, Esther, your spell save DC is 14. So if anyone's trying to make a save against your spells, that's the number they have to beat.
Right.
The robot did not beat it.
I'm surprised.
So it's shaking its head trying to get this frog off, and then it suddenly stops. It stands still. And it goes.
Can I inquire something very quickly?
Doesn't he fall prone as well?
He falls prone, but I would like to inquire very quickly the intelligence score of it.
The intelligence score of the robot is 7.
Okay, so it is affected.
Yeah, fine.
I had to actually because it's 4 or less isn't affected.
Yeah. So yeah, this thing is just intelligent enough to be affected.
So it now prone and is now incapacitated.
Yes. I'm also going to say that its brace effect immediately ends.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Because it's incapacitated. Yeah, so that is your turn, Esther, unless you would like to move.
I think I'd like to move a bit closer to everyone because quite a lot of my spells require being close up.
You can move next to Dynamite, Ethan's character. He's right next to the robot.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Next up is Rania.
Awesome.
Go.
So the big bot thing is still up, or did it just die?
The robot has just collapsed. It is making some very weird, distorted noises that sound like laughter. It doesn't appear to be able to move.
It just looks like it's malfunctioning.
And it has a frog wrapped around its head. The two troopers are still in the doorway, aiming at you guys.
Cool. Then, given that the robot is too busy laughing its robotic ass off, laughing off its shiny metal ass, I will use steady aim as a bonus action to get advantage on my attack and shoot the nearest mofo. And Elven accuracy gives me triple advantage, so that is...
The nearest one would be Corporal Grimes, who is the cocky one.
Awesome. So the cocky one is about to get shot in the groin. 26 to hit.
That definitely hits.
And that is 11 necrotic damage to the groin.
Okay.
Shriveling the penis.
Grimes is coming off really well after that shot against Professor Dukos, but is immediately sent on the back foot when this shot pierces his groin. He does have a cod piece as part of the armor, but the shot causes it to rebound and smack him in the nuts, and he's sort of doubled over a little bit. I'm going to say he has half movement now.
Oh,
he's in pain. Is that your entire turn, Charlie, or is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, that's my whole turn. I'm going to stay in cover where I am.
Next up is Dynamite, who, after taking a beating, has just watched this robot fall down, making horrible noises. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna rage.
Yeah, you are.
With
a bit of small goblinoid anger, I will just start to get really flustered and angry, and then I am gonna swing down.
Okay, you have advantage because he's prone.
Also, if I hit, doesn't it count as a critical as well?
He's incapacitated.
So
yes.
Yeah. It is an automatic crit. Which technically means you don't even need to roll.
No.
I still have to get a 10. I still have to get at least a 10.
You have to still beat its AC.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Never mind. Yeah. Go ahead and roll. Do it. Do what you want.
I got 7 on my first, so thank God for advantage.
Yep.
24.
Oh, 24 definitely hits. So you crit.
I will.
Out of interest, Mike, because you have the page up. Does this end the effect? Does he get to make another saving throw?
roll. Yeah, you do a save.
Yeah, he does a save.
Right, I'll do that for him now.
He also gets advantage because it's triggered by damage.
It doesn't matter. He got it. He succeeded, so he's no longer incapacitated.
He's still prone though.
He is
I
still
don't think he's going to be alive for much longer.
So double whatever you roll for your crit.
Sure. Also, as a question, does it double my divine fury? Because it triggers on the first creature I hit.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know if it actually does crit.
Or incapacitate.
It's unconscious. It crits on.
Oh.
Is an automatic crit.
And if not, then that's just 12. No, wait, no, it won't be a crit. So it'll just be 12 damage.
Yeah, it gives you advantage.
Plus...
Yeah, you just get advantage because they're prone.
Hang on. Any attack that hits the creature may be a critical if the attacker is within 5 foot.
So melee attacks are critical.
Melee attacks
So,
are critical.
yeah.
That's what you're looking at. You're looking at unconscious.
No, I'm looking at incapacitated.
Incapacitated is
Yeah.
A creature can't take actions or reactions.
It couldn't.
Yeah.
So it was a crit then.
No. Unconscious.
I'm looking at incapacitated, that's what it says.
I am looking at it as well.
So then it works on both
I'm on
then.
I'm on D&D Beyond.
Hang on.
I won't even get my book.
An incapacitated creature can't take actions or reactions, so no, there is no automatic crit.
Yeah. Roll20 coded that wrong.
All I needed to know.
Yeah, I never trust Roll20.
Then it's still 12 damage followed up by 8 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 20 damage.
You only crit.
Do you have another attack that you would like to make?
Swing.
You are still. It's still prone, so you still have advantage on your second attack.
22 to hit.
Oh, that hits. 100% that hits.
Nice.
Oh. So 14 net slashing damage.
Nice. Okay.
Like...
You watch as Dynamite suddenly gets incredibly frustrated and raises the greatsword in both hands and just goes whack, whack, and these two massive slashes appear down the automaton's chest, and sparks fly out, and it leaks a little bit of oil onto the ground.
You should be afraid.
Do you have anything else you want to do?
No, I've used both my bonus action and my reaction.
Okay.
Not my reaction. Just use both bonus action and my action.
It is top of the round. It is now Dr. Helio's go.
Okay. I see that this is still on the ground. Like, is the mech at least 60 feet away from me?
Oh yes.
Okay. I am going to. So you see me clutch my ankh, as sort of then I hold my hand out, like still chanting in Aviara. I hold my hand out, and you see a large ankh floating next to this mech as I cast spiritual weapon.
Nice.
At second level. As part of the casting of the spell, I'm going to make a melee spell attack against him.
Nice.
At advantage. He is still prone.
Yes, because he's prone.
That is a 18 to hit.
An 18 hits.
Okay. So that is 1d8 plus 8 damage. Ooh, that's 9 damage.
9. Okay.
As I've sort of done that, I put my hand back onto my staff, and just like look directly at. What are the other guys?
So the other
Where-
guys, there's one crawling away, and there's two. There's one that's shaking, which is Grunt C. He hasn't been hit yet, and the cocky one is Grunt A. So you've got
Okay.
Grimes, and I forgot what the other one was. Actually, I don't think I've said his name. His name is Tarkin.
The guy that's crawling away, is he classed as prone?
He is prone, yes. Hutchins is
Okay.
prone.
Okay. I don't really want to attack him then. How badly damaged do the other guys look?
Grimes is hurt reasonably bad. Tarkin hasn't been touched.
I'll hit Grimes. I'll shoot at Grimes.
Corporal Grimes, no.
I shout down to him. I says, a doctor walks into a room with a dying patient and tells him, I'm sorry, but you only have 10 left. Patient then asks him, 10 what, doc? Hours, days, weeks? The doctor calmly stares at him. Says, 9, 8, 7, 6. As I count down, does a 21 hit?
One does hit.
Why did I know where that was going, but it still made me laugh?
Okay. That's reasonable. That's reasonable. Plus. So that is 13 radiant damage.
Grimes is sort of like
I blast him like straight in the chest.
Grimes is a bit confused at first, and then the radiant bolt hits his chest, and suddenly he's just like you sear a patch of his armor like completely through. He's like his chest is exposed. It's just the bloody burn area where the blaster bolt hit. He is barely able to stand.
That's my turn. That's my bonus action and my action.
Okay. Next up is Professor Duco.
Time to finish the job.
Professor.
Can I go for the guy that Ben just shot?
Yes, you can.
Because why the fuck not?
Obviously, my turn lasted 6 seconds, so I fired on about 6. So this would be the last. Helio is still counting down until Professor shoots him.
Nice.
21 to hit.
Oh, that hits. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need to roll damage.
I'm still going to roll it anyway.
Your minimum damage would kill him.
12 damage.
Okay. The last thing that Grimes hears as he's struck by the bolt, he looks up, he hears 2, 1, as the blaster bolt from Mike's antimatter carbine just shoots through his head. Grimes collapses to the ground.
It's a rifle, isn't it? So I couldn't have gone.
Yeah.
As I fucking waved him off.
Well, you could have and then fired.
You could have. It could have gone like.
A wave. And just...
So Tarkin is the only other one standing, and he looks terrified.
Could I?
This has gone very badly for him.
Can I use my extra attack to hit him?
Yeah. Get a different target.
We're going for him. 21 to hit.
Hits.
Really wish we had some epic music right now.
12 damage.
Yeah. 12 damage. Okay.
I need to compose some epic background music for us.
You fire another quick 3-round burst just as quickly, just as soon as Grimes drops, you wheel around, fire another burst into Tarkin's leg, catching him in the thigh. He just sort of his leg goes out from underneath him for a bit, and he just about manages to keep his balance.
Shot through the thigh.
Is that the rest of your turn?
That is the rest of my turn.
Okay, next up is Grimes. He's going to bleed a little bit on the floor. Next up is Hutchins, who is still crawling. He's now out of the hangar bay. He's crawling back into the boarding pod.
We forgot about this guy. How is he still alive?
He's using his action to
I
cry.
saw him there. I ignored him. To use his action to cry, did you say?
Shouldn't have joined the military, man.
Is he following in his brother's footsteps?
Next up is Grunt C or Tarkin. He is gonna he chucks his gun on the ground and he's running.
Wait, has he moved out of my combat range?
That only works with melee.
Fuck.
Not ranged weapons. So no attack of opportunity, I'm afraid. But yeah, he's chucked his rifle on the ground. He's sprinted out. He's in the boarding craft.
He is out of there.
He's going to use his action to spool up the engines and get it to start going.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, it hasn't taken off yet, but the door is closed, and he and Hutchins are in.
Is it the door on their side? Because effectively they blew out our door, right?
They blew out a wall, but your ship has countermeasures to stop breaches.
Thank fuck for that. We've got some sort of shielding to stop us from getting sucked out into space.
Well, yeah, it's not an instant. It wouldn't be an instant depressurization as well, so you'd have time to seal the door. But yeah, he's out of there.
Hanging on for a quick second while the shields turn on.
Next up is the robot. It is going to use its action or use its movement to stand up. The frog over its eyes, unfortunately, doesn't seem to affect it. It turns and looks directly at Dynamite, and it's going to make 3 attacks at advantage thanks to its revenge protocol.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
The top actually no,
Revenge
no, it doesn't.
protocol.
No, it doesn't get advantage because Dynamite wasn't the last creature to attack it.
He was not.
It was Helio.
Yeah.
It was Helio, and Helio's not in range.
Technically, it was my spiritual weapon.
It was your spiritual weapon, but he can't physically attack that. So
It's nice to
he's
know
still
that
going to
this
go.
automaton has a revenge protocol. That's quite cool.
It does.
That's
It's a
quite
very
cool.
petty robot.
That's pretty cool.
Who programmed this robot with revenge?
Who gave this robot emotion?
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
It was John Luke. We can blame John Luke for giving this robot emotions.
All right.
Master, why do you hate me?
The first attack is a 20, non-natural against you, Dynamite.
That does hit.
Okay. That is 7 damage.
Oh, that is now 4 damage.
Okay. Next attack is
Oh, 3. Sorry, 3.
Next attack is a. Ooh, this one might not hit. This is a 70.
17 hits.
Okay. That's 8 damage.
Oh, that's 4 damage.
And lastly, it's going to slam down with both of its fists.
Hulk smash.
That is a natural 20.
Oh fuck.
Which one was Grave Cleric right now?
Hulk smash was a definite, accurate description to that role.
I was a Grave Cleric. I could cancel that.
But it rolled poo damage. It got a 1 on the damage.
Nice.
So that's 6 damage total.
Wow.
That
So
was
in that
pretty
entire
cool.
exchange, I took 10 damage.
Barbarians, man. Barbarians are tough. It is again going to use. It is again going to bring up both of its arms. The plates are going to fold out, and it is going to use brace. Next up is the shock trooper, who's dead. Now it is now Frog's go.
Oh, So the robots, it now has quite a lot of damage done to it.
It does, yes.
I'm wondering, can Frog get inside its armor and start causing havoc? And
He's gonna Ant-Man this shit with Falcon.
Actually, Dynamite has carved open quite a few spots on its chassis. So, yeah, I'd say you could get in.
Oh,
What's
What's
right.
my comparative size? Could I climb in?
You're not quite frog-sized.
Damn it.
Not tiny.
Yeah, so your frog scuttles down from its head and sort of like squeezes itself inside. I'll say this is your action to get your frog to do something to the robot, because this is a little bit.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? No, fuck it. It's a bonus action. No, I'm gonna make it. But I said it was a bonus action to blind it. It's a bonus action to try and damage it from the inside.
Ooh. Yeah, Frog is going to get inside and then start licking all the circuitry to make it short.
Okay.
Is Frog gonna
I'm-
fry?
Yes, I was gonna say, is this gonna kill the frog?
It might kill frog. I'll tell you what. Roll me a d20, and okay, I'm gonna roll me a d20, and then I'll minus the frog's intelligence from it to see how much damage it can do to the robot by pulling out its innards. It's got to make.
Okay.
This is to determine how effectively it managed to target like the right spots to lick.
This could go so bad.
This could go.
Wait a
very
sec.
badly.
We have a frog inside of a mechanical automaton,
And it's about to start
licking
the
wires and stuff
circuitry.
at random.
Yeah.
I only rolled a 5.
Bye, frog.
Roll
We
a
hardly
five,
knew
yeah.
you.
It'd
Minus
just be
the
like
frog's- minus the frog's intelligence score.
Someone's
minus
gonna have
5
to
of it?
explain to the Candy Witch the concept of like pets dying, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's very familiar.
Well, it's familiar,
Unfortunately-
so it can be brought back.
Unfortunately, the frog it has a -5 intelligence, so it did nothing.
Shit.
So your frog is trying to figure out what to lick, and he looks at like a motherboard, and then he looks over at this like little like cooling fan that seems to have gotten jammed, and he's like, "That looks important." He licks the broken cooling fan. It does nothing.
Does
So,
the frog
so he's
survive?
not dead.
The frog, because the frog didn't make any of the circuits short, it doesn't get electrocuted, so it doesn't die. The frog is just still stuck inside the chassis of the robot.
We will now switch to.
I
frog-
could have
to
gone
frog
worse.
cam.
You still have an action though, Estes. You can still use a spell or a spell of an action, or you can use a cantrip or attack, or do whichever you like.
Be warned, you are firing at something that currently has your familiar inside of.
It's alright though, you can always bring it back.
You can.
Yeah.
That is true.
It just won't appreciate you shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like a ghost with its guardian.
So let me have a look at my spells.
Also, if just as a heads up, if you've got anything that is a ranged attack, it will be at disadvantage because you're within 5 feet. You tried.
Yeah.
You went right next to it.
But I'm wondering if I can attack anyone else.
The other two soldiers have run out of the room. They climbed back
Right,
into
it's
their
out of the room.
Can they
So,
try and leave?
Hmm.
Everything went badly for them. Everything that could have gone bad did go bad.
Oh. Can I see them?
No, they are completely
Right.
out. They are completely out of the room.
Hmm.
I'm just reading up which is familiar. Once per turn, as an action or a bonus action, you can mentally command your familiar to use its reaction to make one attack.
Oh.
I'll say that's what that was.
Okay.
You can use your spell attack bonus instead of its own attack bonus on attack rolls. You add your proficiency bonus to its armor class, saving throws, and damage rolls. You add twice your witch level to its maximum hit points. Whenever you cast a spell, you can deliver it through your familiar as if it was cast, if it had cast the spell,
Ooh.
even if the spell doesn't have the range of touch. And when you cast the spell, you can choose one of the normal forms of your familiar or one of the following special forms: Death Snail, Flying Book, Homunculus, Mock, moon jelly, pet rock, pseudo dragon, and such and such.
Hmm.
When you cast Find
Let-
Familiar.
So you can technically cast a touch spell while it's inside the robot.
Yes.
Ah,
I'd allow it. It's easy.
I'm not sure I actually have any combat touch spells. Let me have a look.
Do you have any
But that's-
cantrips? Because I would count a cantrip as well.
Cantrips are combat spells, potentially.
Can I cast Candy Blast from the frog?
Yes. And you know what? I'm not
Does
going to
it
give
jam
you.
off the system?
I'm not going to give you disadvantage because it's inside. It's
That's also
actually. I'm going to say it's guaranteed to hit. You're casting it from inside. There's no way it can avoid it.
Oh, this is gonna.
So just go.
Yeah,
just roll
but
the damage.
technically speaking, like its armor could soak up all the damage.
That is a good point, but
Not to argue against it, but because
No,
like
I do see what you're
yeah,
saying.
my motherboard with candy in a very
For the
mechanical
sake
way.
of fun, I'm going to say in this instance that you don't have to roll to hit with the spell because the frog is like inside it.
2d8 damage.
So roll your
straight
roll
damage.
2d8 and then tell me what you get.
And the insides of it is difficult terrain.
Yes, the inside of the robot would technically be difficult terrain. I love D&D so much. This game is chaos.
Thing is,
Useful
we've only
chaos.
just started this, but I already want to play Darkmatter as a campaign now.
Yes.
Ah, the
I
plan is
just got
work.
3.
3 total.
Yeah.
Oh.
3 damage.
Charlie, I didn't plan for it to be like that. I never do.
Like what? More than one episode.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be more than one episode. Like we're nearly 2 hours in, and we haven't even gotten to Mechs yet. So
yeah,
never.
Yeah, this is
Right.
because Reece decided to do a start of combat start of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the combat starts fun.
To be fair, you did decimate these guys way faster than I thought you were.
Welcome to Golem Jockeys 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Golem
okay.
Jockeys 2, where Reece can't ever get a one shot.
there is a thing as a one shot with
Thing is,
Reece,
there is no
Yes, there is.
which
the
is
one
always a
day-
2 or 3 shot.
Yeah, I only
one
happened
day that
once.
Reece will
Anyway,
make a one-day one-shot is when pigs fly.
That has to be the
so,
theme of that one
no,
shot though.
nothing out there.
There's no pigs flying today.
Esther, that is the end of your turn. Next up is it is Charlie. It is Renia's turn.
Renia's
Renia's turn. One day I will
Okay.
pronounce that right.
Renia.
It is not this day. This day we can't pronounce things for shit. Fagondo! Right. Okay, so nearest enemy that isn't currently being licked from the inside and having sweet shit. This is very, very weird situation we've gotten ourselves into. Are there any other humans alive or have they all fucked off? Cool. Then I guess I will shoot at the horribly
Fire away.
defiled creature. I will use steady aim, of course, to make it virtually impossible that I can miss. 26 to hit.
26 to hit. Yep, you hit.
And 13 damage, necrotic.
Oh, nice.
Eating away.
How would
at
you
the
like?
iron?
How would you like to describe your victory?
You literally realizing that there's no one else around as like targets. She decides to do a bit of a trick shot and just vaults out of cover on top of the crates, backflips into her mech and does a shot like as she's backflipping and just goes straight through the side of the head of the mech.
Its
the side lands and goes, well, that's enough of that.
Its head
No,
spins
it's just a
briefly
gun.
before like sparking and flying off, collapses to the ground, and out of the little hole in where its neck was pops a little frog that just hops out, gives a little ribbit, and then jumps back on Brad's shoulder.
How in the hell did that frog survive?
Rabbit.
Don't ask.
At this point, combat has ended. Congratulations, guys. You fought
How's
off
the
the
ship
boarding
taken
party.
away?
Is the ship taken off?
The ship at this point, you hear sort of a little like a ripping sound as like some of the steel like bends as the ship leaves. There's a brief rush as the atmosphere begins to fade away from the ship,
Everyone, hold
and
on.
then as force fields come up to prevent the entire atmosphere from venting. You are now, you're now in the hangar bay with your robots.
Frog's gonna give Frog a nice cuddle and a kiss.
I just stand up, holding my staff. And then just pick up my datapad and go back to reading.
Jesus Christ.
Is a
Guys, you do realise there's still a red alert?
Just give
at
us,
this point,
give us a minute.
It's like, Ryan just continues to like set up.
your CO comes over the intercom. Right, jockeys, we managed to get rid of most of the boarding parties, but we've got the distress signal coming in from the fire base down below. It seems like they've been hit first and hit hard. They're asking for help evacuating survivors. I want you to get down there and defend them while they try and get the people out.
See, listen to Scott McGinger.
Hey, that's
Colonel Scott McGinger to you right now.
What's quite funny is it's literally a freaking dwarf just going. I'm not much taller than Dynamite.
Not to mention, Aronia is currently sat inside her mech.
I'm pointing at her
There's like an extra like 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah, I was still on. I never even left the catwalks.
So, are you all? What are you all doing now?
I slowly get in my mech. I attach the data pad just to like part of the screen bit where
I chuck you some bent tape. As I
I have like a clip already on there.
Elio takes it as sort of like a because it will get you to go away, but then he just puts it in like.
I just chuck it. I just throw it behind me. I just look at it and just.
So Helio, as you climb inside, the wood of your ironwood mech suddenly like closes around the cockpit, and your heads-up display flashes on.
In Titanfall fashion.
In a Titanfall style fashion, yes. Okay. The rest of you are all sort of climbing in. Ronia, you climb into your spider mech Sixer, as lovingly named by the number of legs that it has. You start your boot up sequence. Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Don't question it.
Process that for a few seconds. Professor Darkos climbs into Sloan, sort of like yellowish colored like humanoid mech, holding sort of like a heat rifle that doubles as sort of like an arc welder and flamethrower. It's like a massive tank on its back, and you close the hatch on yours and start booting up your systems. Brog climbs into Vort, which is just sort of like this big angry looking face. You climb into the mouth, and the mouth shuts, and you grab the axe and the shield from either side of your pod and sit in, ready to go. Ethan, as Dynamite climbs into Jack, you hear the familiar AI voice like chime in, like, "Welcome back, Master Dynamite. Are we headed for a combat scenario today?"
Is this Alfred?
Fantastic. I will prep the ion engines and ensure the sword is sharp.
I'd like to also clarify that even though it's got like a really nice AI voice, the inside of the cockpit just looks like an absolute mess.
Is there like bits of crisps everywhere?
No, not in that sense. Not in that sense. There's
just
like 8 different pedals that do multiple different things at multiple different times. 6 sets of levers and like joysticks, and about 3 big red buttons.
So the inside of your mech is an engineer's nightmare.
It's Goblin engineering. It just about works.
I think what you were trying to say is a Goblin masterpiece.
Yeah, what happens with
It only makes sense to them.
ironwood? With redwood, the wood just sort of like melds and like weaves around my arm and around my like legs
Redwood sort of
as
becomes
I
like
sit on a sheet.
skin for you.
Meanwhile, within Sixer, there's literally like a biomechanical web, which she just lies down on, like quite relaxed, and just like twings different like bits of the web to activate different things. It's quite harmonious as well. It's like a little echo chamber, so it gives off little vibrations. You're sort of like playing in
Quite
the
musical.
major scale.
The inside of Sloan
each
has
of your
one big
mechs-
red button,
Okay.
and that activates fire.
Yeah.
There's just a big red button that
Does it
says
just say
picture of
fire?
fire on
It
it.
literally, in massive
Does it just
capital
say
letters,
climb?
it says fire. And then there's a
It
little...
just says "Climb with holy fire."
I have a little joystick next to it for my aiming.
Does the button say fire, or does it say peace was never an option?
In brackets, it says that. Fire, in brackets, peace was never an option.
I sort of like activate a button, and then on the heads-up display, on my heads-up display, I get a heads-up display of the hangar, but then ding, 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 just along the top row, I can see the cockpit view of all of you guys.
Oh, so you got like
It's
a...
called-
We have like a Zoom call going on.
Yes.
As Redwood is your support, is one of your main supports. As each of you starts your boot up sequence, there's a little ping in the top right of your heads up displays. It says launch sync activated. Press for launch.
Alright, guys, we better scramble down there and see what's going on.
I
Everyone
press the
ready?
button.
Dynamite has already pressed the button,
We're
which, because you're all
fucking
synced up, has caused you to all launch.
Right, well, I guess
Your
we're ready.
Your pods eject from the ship. For a moment, it's quiet and it's very serene. There's no rumbling. There's no loud noise. There's nothing in space as you sail through the black towards the planet's surface. It's very serene. And then,
Mission
as you hit the
critical message.
atmosphere, there's suddenly a violent shaking and rattling. It like the pods start to burn up, like, and
Reece,
then
go to a break.
Hold on, guys.
and that is where we're going to take a break.
We'll see you back soon.
In 5 minutes.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time
Okay,
to
now-
descend onto the planet.
You join us as the Golem jockeys are hurtling towards the planet's surface in their deployment pods. The plates at the bottom burning away as they rip through the atmosphere. Just as you're like a couple thousand feet from the ground, the chutes pop on your pods, and you begin to slowly descend towards the surface. As you begin to descend, you hear a distress beacon come through your radios on an open channel. Attention to any hegemony or any Terran military personnel. This is Commander Maria.
Commander Maria Hill.
A supply depot has been completely flattened. We're currently trying to evacuate wounded. Most of our dropships have been destroyed. If you can provide any support or any reinforcements, please, we need help.
Can I come back? Can I go back on an open channel?
You can, yes.
Commander Maria, this is Professor Set Attack Dukos of the Golem Jockeys. We are inbound to provide support. Over.
Fantastic, thank God.
Just completely announced
We're currently,
the enemy team that
we're
we
currently
are
loading the
Golem.
last of our wounded onto the dropship. We just need you to protect us until we get away.
We won't be long. We're in the atmosphere.
What can we see on visuals as we descend?
So you can see that the firebase, the supply depot, sorry, has been, most of the buildings have been completely destroyed, and the landing pads have been blasted. There's nothing left of them. You can see what looks like a military dropship is kind of hovering next to the damaged remains of a warehouse, and is currently there's some specks on the ground that look like they're probably people being loaded in. There's also something that catches your eye. There's what looks to be a defensive battery or a railgun. It's an automated turret, but it seems to be offline. But it looks intact.
Interesting.
As your pods hit the ground, they open up, and you see directly across from you three other frames. One carrying a blaster cannon and some missiles. One wielding a massive katana-looking sword, lightning arcing off of it.
Ooh, laser sword.
Flanking them is a tank, and above them seems to be this hovering VTOL craft.
I'm gonna make a really big assumption.
Would we have seen these in visual as we were?
As you were dropping, you would have also seen the mech towering behind them in a blood-red crimson with 4 arms, inverted legs, wielding a machine gun, 2 daggers, 2 massive hard-light daggers, and a horned helmet. Everyone make me an intelligence check.
Can I?
Okay.
How far away can we see them out at?
They are about.
Like when we're landing.
I'd say they're about 10,000 feet away from you.
Is it a straight intelligence?
This is straight
check?
intelligence, yeah?
Or is it a tech roll?
Yes.
Reece, quick question as well. In regards to mechs, with range on spells when they become mega, is it still the same range or?
Everything is times by 100 when it concerns vehicles. So if you have a range of 40 feet on something, it is now 4,000 feet.
Okay, so what distance do we start see these things come into?
These things, you can probably see them clearly when you're about 6,000 feet out from the ground.
Okay. So I'm preparing. As we're dropping, I'm prepping my arcane cannon.
You're already loading it. Okay, I'll let you do that.
With Bane at 3rd level.
Okay, I'll say that you can fire that immediately on your turn.
My plan was immediately on landing. So yeah.
Because you're engaging in combat immediately, I'll say you don't have a surprise round, so you'd have to wait until your turn.
Okay.
But you will be able to use it immediately on your turn. How did everyone do on intelligence checks?
I was going to
I
ask,
got an
is it just a straight intelligence, or would it be a
It
technology
is.
check?
It is a straight intelligence check.
Okay.
It's just whether or not you know this information.
That's a 9.
Okay, you don't recognize the figure in front of you.
19.
It's a
How many
12 for me.
Actually, how many figures were there that we can see?
So you can see 2 other humanoid classes of mechs, one with a sword, one with a cannon.
Yep.
You can see a tank, a VTOL craft, and 1 4-armed mech standing at the back that looks like the commander. Blood red.
How many things
blood-
can I target? How many of those things can I target with, like, would be, like, considered Bane targets? Because that
They would all
depends on
be
what
considered Bane targets.
Okay.
If you're targeting the pilots, then yes, they're all piloted, so they could all be affected by Bane.
Okay.
Charlie, what did you get? Sorry.
12.
You're not too sure either. You've both not been. You're both fairly new members of the Jockeys. You don't know a lot about the mercenary world. Like, Dr. Helio, you were a doctor.
I was just a ship doctor.
You were a ship
before
doctor, so you didn't see much action until you decided to get involved for yourself, until you found your calling.
I kind of, like, didn't ask. I was told.
Yeah.
I
What
was
did everyone
told
else get?
I was told that they needed medical reinforcements within the teams, and I was like the best that they had at the time. I was like, okay.
What did you get?
19.
You got a smile on your face. 19. You know exactly who this is. Ethan, Esther, what did you guys get?
11.
11.
13.
You're not too. You're both not too sure.
It's just me then.
Yeah. So Professor Ducos, you are very well aware of who this is. You've read a lot of battlefield reports, and you know who's in the mercenary game. You recognize this to be someone named Walter, or better known as the Mastiff. A terrifying mech pilot who is considered an Oni. An Oni is a mech pilot with more than 100 confirmed kills.
Alright, so he's a dangerous guy.
He's known for being ruthless and efficient.
He does no roof. That must be his weak point.
He has no roof. You may
Eyes
attack
up,
his roof.
jockeys. That guy in the back's he's not a friendly customer.
Okay.
Sending
so-
information to your heads up.
He has sent you the information. You are now aware of who. You're getting a little profile on the Walter the Mastiff.
It's a very brief one, but it gives you enough detail.
Yeah, you get the gist that this guy is dangerous. Okay, so as we begin, the initiative is immediately going to begin. First up is Professor Ducos. You are the first to react.
Yes. I don't want to go for the big guy straight up because I feel like if we go in too hard too quickly, death is going to come to us a lot quicker. I will also very quickly scroll down to my other character, to my ship sheet.
And everything is about 10,000 feet away from you.
10,000 feet.
You have 3,000 feet of movement.
Yes.
And you do have ranged weapons.
I do have ranged weapons. It seems that I will have to move up to use my heat ray.
There are some bits of destroyed buildings you can use to get some cover.
We'll do that. If I
You can get about half. You can get about a quarter cover. You're pretty big, and there's not much rubble to hide behind.
So I've got a movement speed of 3,000, and I have an overall arcing range of 8,000 with the heat ray.
Yes.
So effectively, I can still hit someone.
It will be at disadvantage, but yes, you can hit them.
That's all I needed to hear. Now, what is my attack bonus with this? Is it because it's ranged?
Your
Is it
attack
exactly
bonus-
the same as my ranged attack bonus if I was?
It is
rolling
exactly the same as your ranged weapon bonus.
Gotcha. Okay, so I will, whichever one's closest to me.
The closest one up, there are 2 that are at the front. There is the the one known as the the Ronin frame, which is the guy with the sword, or there is the hover tank.
Ooh, we'll go for the hover tank.
Okay. Roll to hit.
14 to hit.
14 just hits.
Oh. Roll
your damage.
I rolled a 15 on the first one. Damage 2d8. That is 9 fire damage.
9 fire damage. Okay. You scorch off some of the tank's armor. You do have a second attack.
I do. I was about to
In
say
your mech, you can use your extra
my extra attack works here as well, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
We'll do exactly the same thing using the hero.
Alright.
Again, another 14 to hit.
That is exactly what you need to roll your damage.
Maximum damage.
Ooh, we love to see it. 16 damage, yeah?
16 damage.
Fantastic. You are adding your dex bonus to these as well, aren't you?
To what?
To these to hit, because it's still a weapon attack, so you can still add your dex bonus to the damage. Whatever your dex bonus is, you can add it to the damage.
Oh, so...
That's how D&D works.
So it would technically be your dex is +4, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that'd be
So it
20
would have been 12 on the first one, 20 on this one. So, yeah.
All right.
Uh,
I should
this
probably
is-
put that actually written on.
Yes.
Just so I
So
remember that.
your second shot, your first shot seems to melt off some of the armor. The second shot, like, shears along the side of the tank and melts two of the hover jets. Actually, it starts tilting to one side, and it's caught fire a little bit. It's bad. It's in a bad way.
I'm semi-picturing Tanix. End of the
Tank
road.
has no house. It kneels before no kell. It has no dick.
The
Next up.
House of Dicks.
Next up is, if that's the end of your turn.
I don't think I have any bonus actions, so that
You
is
have
the
your
end of
grease
my-
bomb bonus.
I do have my grease bomb. I forgot about that because that is a bonus action.
So it's the same as again. It's just a ranged weapon attack against whatever target you want.
Gonna grease bomb it.
You're gonna grease bomb the tank.
Gonna grease bomb the tank.
The grease set on fire?
Yes.
It does.
And if
And-
it's coated, because it's coated in grease, it'll take damage on its next turn.
Cool.
Because it lasts for 5 minutes.
5
Nice.
minutes, or unless it tries to get out, take it off.
I'm rolling it. Am I rolling this at disadvantage, or do I
Yes,
have
it's
more of a
still
range?
in your long range.
Okay. 15 to hit.
Okay, yeah, you splash grease all over this tank, and immediately the hull catches fire. It's just alight and burning.
Yep.
And at the start of its turn, it will take 1d4 damage.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And then
Okay.
at the end of its turn, it can make a roll to
Save.
remove it. Make a
It
save.
can indeed. Right. Next up is Dr. Helio.
So how far out did we land? Because at first you were making it describe we were landing right on top of them.
Not quite. It's as the perspective
Because
made them.
Because the way you said that, that's why I was preparing Bane.
Okay, right. So you've landed.
You were giving conflicting information.
Okay, fair enough. That's my bad. You're about 10,000 feet away from them, so you're a bit of a stretch out.
Bane wouldn't even. I wouldn't even be able to use Bane. So
At what range is Bane?
it would be up to 3,000 because it's 30.
Okay.
Because you said that we could see them when they were about 6,000 out.
Yeah, no, that's my bad. I meant 6,000 out from the ground, not. Yeah, that's my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. So in that case, I wouldn't have prepared Bane.
I'll say you could charge a different spell.
I'm gonna even see if I want to do that. Give me one sec.
Could do something else.
Potentially. Well, to be honest, a lot of my stuff is utility except for my cantrips. One sec. I just have to go through my spells now.
Going through spells and shit.
Indeed.
Are you gonna be fucking pleased about it?
It's one of those occasions where I really wish I had a map.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
And
think this
minis.
is where
Oh
it's
god,
just
I
a
wish I had
one
Mech
shot.
minis.
If this was an actual campaign, I think you'd have a map.
Yeah. I'd try and get Roll20 to work, ideally.
Tailspire.
Yeah, Tailspire.
Yeah,
We could just
that's
build something in Tailspire.
You can just download stuff and
Yeah.
import it.
We can build good things on Tailspire, and it also looks pretty badass.
They do indeed.
Plus, most, if not all of us, can run Tailspire because it requires fuck all graphic-wise. So, even you can run it, Reece, on your lovely, very old graphics
A
card.
lovely rig. The rig.
My Mantle of the Sun doesn't work while I'm in the mech, does it?
No. Does not, I'm afraid.
Does it do?
Either gives me wings, gives me a shield, or gives me like extra damage.
I'm just imagining a massive
an aura.
arcane shield outside of a mech.
I mean, you all already have shield points anyway, but yeah, you wouldn't be able to extend it to affect your mech.
I need to write that down, actually.
Too big.
I can see what you mean by there is no place to put it.
Yeah.
Like, they've put armor class twice. Surely that one of them should just be shields.
See, this is what Charlie and I were saying. Like, I'm pretty sure one of them is supposed to be shield points. But
Yeah, they just formatted it wrong, I reckon.
I'd vouch that the more rounded one is
How
shields.
near are everything? So how far out is everything? 10,000.
10,000 feet average, yeah.
Okay. In that case, I would cast. I would have Beacon of Hope charged, so that. How far away is Mike from me?
Mike is about 3,000 feet away from you.
Okay, he's within range. Okay. So when I land, you just see sort of like a burst of aura, just sort of like released from my arcane cannon, as just sort of like it's like and just sort of down like it blasts into the sky and just sort of like a reddish yellowish aura.
Your various like the odd leaves that have grown out of Ironwood's hull are glowing in like this golden orange color.
Yeah.
Regeneration.
Everyone.
Time travel. You told me there was time travel in the old days.
Everyone gets advantage on wisdom saves and death saves.
Nice.
Okay.
For 1 minute, and you also regain the maximum number of hit points from any healing.
So the dropship and the injured soldiers are within range of you. So with this, how many creatures can it affect?
I can affect any number of creatures within range.
Okay.
I affect everyone that is considered an ally.
Okay. A couple of you, Charlie, you're the closest to the dropship. You can see out the corner of one of your displays, some of the injured soldiers all immediately start to like get back up. A couple of them even throw off their casts.
They don't heal. They regain the max when I do any healing.
When you do healing. Oh, okay. My bad. I misread that.
So they when I automatically do the max. If they received any healing, they automatically receive the maximum number of hit points from that from that healing.
Is that concentration?
Yes.
Okay.
I am then going to. What's the nearest bit of cover?
The damaged building next to
Cover.
Mike, you'll get about quarter cover.
Is there anywhere I can get full cover, or if not half?
There's what remains of another warehouse. You'd think you can get at least 3/4 out of it, but it's kind of crumbly. But the commander wasn't lying when she said this place was flattened.
Yeah.
Only a supply depot as well. They don't have much of a fighting force.
We are the fighting force.
Yeah, you are the reinforcements. You are
I
the
take the
According to the big guns.
I weigh it up, and the crumbling bit doesn't seem like a good idea. So I take the quarter cover.
So you have +1 to your AC.
Yeah. Can I? How much movement does it take to get there?
It'll take your full movement. It's a very stretched out battlefield.
Okay. Then for my bonus action, I would. Is there anything within 6,000 feet of me? Because I'm presuming my channel divinity is increased by the 100 as well.
Yes, it would be. About 6,000 feet. The Ronin one with the sword is just about on the edge. So.
Suddenly, like from within the cockpit, you can see me holding the ankh and or like you can see the ankh around my necklace glowing. As suddenly a bright light comes down
Okay.
from the sun.
From
For 1 minute, that target can't take the hide action, and he's followed by an uncanny light.
Nice.
I deal an extra d6 damage against it when I hit with a weapon attack.
You just lit it the fuck up.
Yeah, so
And just once
it
again,
can't
live
hide.
fam.
It can't hide.
Lit up like the 4th of July.
Okay.
That's my turn.
4 days.
Okay. Next up is Ethan. I believe it's Ethan. Yes, Ethan. It is your turn.
Ethan.
You may make your move.
What's my movement?
You actually have the most movement of anyone at the moment.
Is he more nimble?
Yes, well, he has a fly speed equal to his walk speed.
I also
His mech is like from Evangelion.
Yeah, it's Evangelion. So how far away did you say they were? 60 feet.
10,000 feet, but you can move 3,000 walk and 3,000 fly. And your fly isn't just. Yes.
Wait, hand. Does he have to? Can he walk and fly?
Yes, he can.
Because he's going to.
So in essence, he has feet of movement.
He has 6,000 feet of movement.
I have 6,000 feet worth of movement.
The whole point of his thing is it's nimble.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a run, and at the very end, kick off and go into fly my next 3,000 feet, and then just as I'm about to land, I'm going to ping the VTOL.
I will say you can stay. It's not limited to a hover. You can stay in the air.
Oh, I just wanted to kind of like jump boost. Like
that's fair. I'm just letting you know you can. You can hover.
Okay. And then when I land, I'm gonna fire at the VTOL with my carbine.
Okay. Roll to hit. You add your dex and your proficiency to the attack.
Nat 20.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Roll your damage and double it.
So 4d6. Oh, that was terrible. Wow. 9.
No.
So you fire the shot from the carbine, but one of the capacitors on the side fizzes out for a bit, despite how good the shot was, it doesn't seem to be at full power. It pings off the side of the hammer's shield. Its shield is now depleted, though.
Damn.
Oh, I forgot about shields.
Yeah, but you all have 15 shield points as well, don't forget.
Yes.
I'll end my turn with that.
Okay, next up is it is Esther's go, I believe. Yes, Esther, it is your turn.
Ooh, okay. So I'm not used to using a mech. Let me see. I
None of us
can
are.
I can do a shield bash, can't I? What's the closest enemy to me?
10,000
10,000
feet
feet.
away.
Closest enemy is
10,000 feet.
10,000 feet.
Hmm.
You can use your action to dash, so you can move 6,000 instead of 3,000.
I think I'll do that.
Okay.
I-
So you've moved up about 6,000 feet.
Mm.
You're stood, shield ready, axe ready to go. All right.
Cool. I don't think I can do anything else.
I'm afraid not. No.
Okay.
Next up is Sixer or Rainier's
Spider tank.
go.
Spider tank.
So they're 10,000
Deadly
away. Yeah?
neighborhood spider tank.
Yes.
Cool. Which means I can. So I'll move in 3,000, and then they're still technically in my long range for my flat cannon.
Yes, they are. Your flat cannon has advantage on aerial targets.
It does. Are there any aerial targets?
Yes, the hammer is a VTOL unit. It's sort of like a
So
little
that advantage would counteract the disadvantage.
yes, so you'd be straight roll.
There's no. I can't. My bonus to give myself an advantage on that can't give me an extra advantage, can it?
Yeah, I'd say it can.
Oh, I can. Okay, cool. Screw it. I'll do that then.
If it's a straight roll, you can give yourself advantage.
Cool. Nice.
The hammer now
I guess because those are both passive advantage and disadvantage. I guess I don't know. However you, whatever. I'll take it. This should be the answer to that. I'm not going to argue with that. Cool. Nice. So that is 22 to hit,
that definitely hits.
and that is going to be 14 force damage.
Oh damn!
Nice.
14 damage. You sort of catch it in one of the VTOL engines, and it spins around briefly before righting itself and sort of like facing you.
Bring it on.
At the end, hang on, let me just check. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Ooh, actually.
It's time for maximum flat cannon.
So this is
Maximum sixer.
unfortunately, I think this is probably going to end up being a two-parter. But as much as I tried to make it not, but to cut it off, as a final sort of hurrah, as you fire this flat cannon shot and blast the VTOL unit, the mech in the back, the one known as the Mastiff, is gonna sort of like rear backwards, and you see 4 lights glowing on its back port. And he's gonna use two legendary actions to use Crack the Sky, as he fires these 4 boom, 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 4 projectiles up into the air.
Wait.
He's 10,000 feet away, but this has a range of 15,000 feet. This is a long-range mortar cannon.
Oh fuck.
So, let's see here. Helio, Dukos, Dynamite, and Rainier. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
You sure you don't want it to be a wisdom saving, bro?
No, I'm pretty sure I want it to be dex. Keep in mind your 15 shield points as well.
Reroll that. That's cocked.
Okay. Might be alright.
Again.
16?
Guys, getting caught in the corner. Getting
The
caught.
16 you fail.
Fuck.
Ooh.
21.
You
21
succeed.
also here.
We succeeded.
21 you succeed. Ethan, how much did you get? I think Ethan might be away from the mic.
No, I was just wondering because I'm like 3,000 feet ahead of everybody else. Do I actually have to? Oh, no, everybody else joined up with me.
It's also he can aim this at 4 different targets.
11.
Okay, 11 fails. So, but you have evasion, so you're still taking half. Oh shit. Okay. That's 10, 15. 21 lightning damage.
That halved for anyone that succeeded.
That's halved for anyone who succeeded.
Does that go through
Okay,
so is that through the shields, or is that going to be taking damage from the shields?
That's taking that. So you take damage away from your shields first, and then your health if it goes over.
It's much like the soak value shit from Edge of the Empire.
Much like
Yeah.
so, yes.
Gotcha,
But
okay.
now it's more like temporary hit points though, because once they're gone, like you're then your normal health takes damage.
Damage is rounded up or down?
Down.
Okay.
Down.
So
Everything's always rounded down.
21 half 10.
10.
So
So you've still got 5 shield points left. So as this boom, 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 and you hear this sort of like screech as these electrical projectiles rain down on top of you, crashing into Sixer, into Jack, and into
Redwood.
And Redwood, like hitting you with full force. Sloan manages to like sidestep out of the way and take a little bit of damage, just grazing off of the shields. And at this point, you hear a crackle over your comms as Walter begins to address you, and that's where we'll leave it tonight.
Join us next week for
Alright,
part
alright,
2 of
alright.
Golem Jockeys, because Reece can't ever write a one-shot. Actually, he can do it once.
He can do it once.
That was
That's
the
it.
first time.
It's a fluke after that. You know,
One time only.
One time only. But
Would you believe that I added the starting combat because I was worried it wasn't gonna be?
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's
Yes,
sake,
I know
Reece.
your modus operandi.
Reece, never add stuff.
If
No,
Reece
I
doesn't
have
know-
to. Obsessive detail. It's the only thing I've got.
I knew you added that because you thought it would. You always add because you always
If
think it's not going to be long enough, and then it's like, Reece, we only have 2-3 hours, so.
Yes.
Didn't I give you like a whole list of suggestions over like how to
How to not
like adjust for time?
How to make a
In all
one-shot
fairness,
in
it did
one-
all fit on one page.
That well,
That means
okay,
one
you did one thing. But
Half
you
a
did it
page.
well.
Half
2
a-
paragraphs.
2 paragraphs.
So next
Really.
time it will have to all fit on one A5 page.
Yes.
Maybe.
Anyway, on that note, thank you everyone for watching. We will see you next week for Golem Jockeys Part 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
With more morbid
Golem
jokes.
Jockeys 2, Golem Harder.
Jesus Christ, Charlie. Anyway, bye everyone.
Bye, everybody.